y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's talk Zadia from Ready to Love. Let's get into it, y'all. If you're brand new to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoy my content, and hop down to the comment section down below. Let's talk about this, y'all. So, Zadia. The big thing from the last episode, episode 10, which was True Colors, is that Zadia got physical with Donte. Not only did Zadia get physical with Donte, but she kind of doubled down on it, tripled down even, when she ended up talking to Phil before she was told she was not ready to love. Okay? Um, I don't even think I don't think the issue was so much that Donte had moved on. I don't think Donte handled her wrong at all. I think the issue was Aisha. Because if Donte would have moved on to Shiloh, if Donte would have moved on to Sydney or Moomin or um I guess that's what it's left. If he would have moved on to any of those other young ladies, I don't think this exchange, this issue would have happened, right? I personally don't. I think that Zadia has some type of hard on for Aisha, and I think it stems and it started before the conversation at the table, at the group trip. For whatever reason, Zadia has an issue with Aisha. And this is kind of like, this is not the first time that we have really heard them go back and forth either. If you guys remember, I don't remember the episode number, but it was when they had the conversation about starting to shrink. The women were at like their round table, and it was like, we need to start shrinking. Let's shrink down who we're involved with. Let's start, minimizing things and really start honing in on some of these men. And I think that's in an effort so that some of the other women that might be just kind of on the fence with certain men, whether it's because they have those men on the fence or those men even have them on the fence, like let's get it down to where no one is wasting anybody else's time at this point, right? Zadia had an issue then. She didn't like the way that Aisha was talking to her. But to me, Zadia seems like one of those people that feels that she can talk to people the way that she wants to, the way that she sees fit. But when you take it and you throw it back at her, she has a problem with it. And I think Zadia took her mask off and showed her true colors, hence the title of the episode. But she showed her true colors, and I think that is what ultimately led to Donte not liking her. Or not even not liking her, not wanting to move forward with her. Aisha seems more chill. Aisha seems a little more laid back. Aisha was not the aggressor, in my opinion. Wasn't the aggressor when it came down to that group trip and what happened at the dinner. But I think the way that Zadia handled that, then when Donte talked to her afterwards, and she didn't feel like she did anything wrong, right? Zadia felt that she was well within her rights because she was being a hater to her, infringing on the Brown Girl Squad, which I don't think the name is problematic. I think it's problematic that y'all have an alliance on a show where y'all are all supposed to be out getting a man. So it seemed like, Zadia, you were putting more stock and paying more attention to Camille and Cornelius and making sure that your friend was good than you were trying to secure and hold down your own shit. Aisha didn't take that man from you. Donte didn't flip up on you, because let's all remember, and I said this in my other recap, and I said this in my recap too, when they got to the house and we see the first scene of Zadia and she's on the floor and she's opening a suitcase and Donte comes in that room and Donte says something to her about where are the rooms, Zadia said to him in a very irritated, I guess you could say, tone, a very snarky tone. They're on the other side of the house. That's the way that she talked to him. And I think that particular moment is when Donte was like, deuces, girl. And he went over and moved over to Aisha, who Zadia is claiming came out of nowhere. She didn't come out of nowhere. Y'all don't know who else is all going on dates. And I don't know, like, I feel like that was lost upon her. She went on a couple different dates with people. So what makes you think that Donte isn't going to do the same thing. Hell, when Donte had you meet, what was it, one of his exes, you were there with another woman too. So I don't understand why she was shocked. So let's talk about this whole physicality of it all. Completely inexcusable, right? Um, if Zadia if Zadia had a chance to reconnect with any of these men outside of the show after this, I think after watching this episode, that will be gone because that sets a precedent, right? That lets people know that you're when you don't get your way, you're aggressive. That lets people know that when there is conflict, that you resort to laying hands on people. Because my thing is, if you're willing to put your hands on this man in front of people, that lets me know that you for sure put your hands on men and put your hands on people and are physical outside of this situation. Um, I think the way that Donte handled it was the best that he could. I think Donte was more aware of the cameras. I think Donte was more aware of the cameras. I think Zadia was aware of the cameras, but I think Zadia wanted to make a splash, right? So there are some people who go out with dignity and take things in stride. And then you have Zadia, who in the back of my mind, she knew she was on camera. She was aware of the cameras. She wanted to make an impression because she in her mind, she probably thought, yeah, I'm gonna expose him for being fake and fraud. I'm expose this nigga for what he is, and it didn't work out that way for her. This backfired very, very much so on her. I don't know if she has issued any type of like statement or anything like that on Instagram from this, but I find it kind of weird. I find it extremely weird that she hasn't said anything. Let me see. Yeah, she like hasn't said anything at all. Her Instagram hasn't said anything about it or like hasn't addressed it or anything. But like, what do you guys think is the real issue? Do you guys think that she really felt in that moment that Donte wasn't there for her? Do you think it was it truly about Donte, or was it more about the fact that you're messing with Aisha? Because it wasn't like because when and I think it's more about the fact that it was Aisha. It because she kept bringing up Aisha in a negative way. It wasn't like, all right, well, she'll see who you really are. She'll see how fake you are. It came down to being like, oh, well, go have fun with her. And that who talks for hours about nothing. Go have fun with her because she's dense and dumb. And it's like, so your problem is not that he is moving on with someone else and not picking you. Your problem is that he moved on with Aisha. And I think Zadia, I always had like a pretty bad vibe from her. I always felt that she was one of those girls that thought she was better than everybody. I think Zadia thought she could come into that house and she judged some of them other women, whether based off of looks or the way that they spoke or what they did for work or and how they were dressed. So Zadia thought she was gonna come in and be able to just snatch men all over the place. And that clearly didn't happen for her. And then we saw when Donte was talking to the men about what happened, how all the other men were kind of like, yeah, that's on par for her. That's just her attitude. So, like, you already had a bad rep for having a nasty ass attitude throughout the course of the process anyway, based on how these men were reacting. Naeem was only giving you your flowers in that moment, girl, because you were all he had left. Because if Naeem had another woman that was checking for him, he had another connection in that house, he would not be checking for you at all, sweetheart. And Zadia should know that. She should know that. So let me know what you guys think about this. Like, do you guys think that it was more of Zadia being really feeling like Donte played her to the left and he really did abandon her and all this other stuff? Or do you think that It was more so the fact that it was Aisha. Because I stand on thinking that if it was Shiloh or Mulan or Sydney that Donte diverted his attention to, I do not think that Zadia would have given him the same reaction, the same heat, the same fever, whatever you want to call it, that she gave him in that moment. I think it all boiled down to Aisha, and I cannot wait until the reunion to see what is going to happen then. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, hop in the comment section, y'all. Let's talk about this.